everyone, it's Carrie's Little Piggies here, and welcome to video number 5 of our 6-part series of what supplies I have in my health kit. So if you haven't seen the other videos, especially the first video, but quickly let me tell you that this video is a part of a series on what's in my health kit, but I also wanted to kind of organize it in some way so that you can always just go to a specific video if you're looking for supplies of that particular issue. And as with the other 4 videos, I'm going to say again that everything that you see in this series, these are not to be used as any kind of substitutes for vet care. These are just supplements and something that you may want to have on hand right before you take the piggy to the vet, or even for post-vet care or maybe recovery care, as well as preventive care. So this 5th video is all about my grooming supplies, of course. And here is everything in a nutshell. I'm going to break it into what I use for bathing or cleaning my piggies. And the next part, it basically shows the supplies of combing and cutting their fur. And the last part of the video is all about their nails and what supplies I have for cutting their nails. So let's get right into it. So guinea pigs do not need regular bathing. They actually groom themselves pretty well, and as long as you regularly change out their bedding, it should not be necessary to bathe them often. However, with long-haired piggies, I have found that I need to bathe them more often than the short-haired ones. I'd say I bathe my piggies probably 3 times a year. But of course that doesn't include bum washes, and I've got a couple of piggies, particularly Ina and Tossie, that love to just lay in their pee and poo, and so I tend to give them washes way more often. And then I've got a boar, and he's just a stinky, dirty boy. So these are the supplies that I have for those things. Now, when you bathe your piggy, please, please, please use a piggy safe shampoo. Please don't use Dawn liquid. I know I've seen it on several videos, and there's a lot of information out there where people use it. That is dishwashing soap. It is so bad for piggies and their skin, especially if you're washing their entire body with it. They have very, very sensitive skin that's prone to dryness. Please try to use a pet-safe, piggy-friendly shampoo. That being said, I swear by Gorgeous Guineas, of course, because this company, which is located in the UK, makes these products specifically for guinea pigs. And I've got a couple of them. They contain pretty much the same conditionings and ingredients, all natural ingredients. This one is smaller because this is really just for my short-haired piggies. This is their easy rinse, and it's just that it rinses off so easily. There's no real conditioning necessary because their hair is so short. Plus, I bathe my short-hairs maybe twice a year, if even that. But this one here is the Posh and Go that Gorgeous Guineas gears more towards the long-hairs. But oh my goodness, so this has like 3 different conditioning ingredients in it. And oh, it smells so delicious. But it's not a strong scent because, you know, piggies have very sensitive noses. Fur is so silky smooth and soft, and they smell so delicious. I just absolutely love this, and I've used this since the beginning. And after their bath, I like to also pamper their little footsies and keep them soft and smelling good as well. So Gorgeous Guineas makes a perfect paws ointment. You'll see this again later in the video, but this I put on after every bath. I just put a little dab of it on all of their paws underneath, and it just keeps their paws soft and smooth and fresh, and their feet smelling so nice and yummy. And actually, our local rescue, North Star, who also owns the business Dandelion Dreams, and the profits go towards the rescue, they have come up with a product that's very similar to the Perfect Paws. It's called Piggy Petty. And what I love about this is it smells so delicious. This is an all-natural, fruity, minty scent, which, oh, it's so delicious. I wish you could smell this on camera. But basically, here are the ingredients: coconut oil, raspberry, mint, and beeswax. So then I have this coconut oil, which I have specifically for cleaning the grease glands. Now, you know I have one boar out of all 11 piggies, and he's a neutered boar, but he's a boar. And if you know anything about boars, they tend to scent mark a lot. That means they drag their little bums all along the bedding and, of course, pick up some dirt and whatever else is in there. And their grease glands tend to get pretty dirty. Although I have a couple of other piggies who tend to have active grease glands. It's not as common in female piggies, but it is very common in male piggies. In any case, this is excellent for cleaning out the grease glands. It is coconut oil. Make sure that you get pure, unrefined, cold-pressed, organic, extra virgin coconut oil. And I know that's a lot of words, it's a lot of things to remember, but what that means is coconut in its natural form has a ton of healing and beneficial properties. And these terms all mean that the way that they made this, it retains all of those wonderful properties that you want. So I'm not going to go into details, but you just rub some of this on and then you can easily wipe off all the dirt. This next thing is specific for my dear Kipua because he's older and he's a boar, and he can be prone to what is called impaction. Impaction occurs when dirt and poops and whatever yucky stuff these boars have, when it just kind of gets all stuck there. Now, Kipua is a neutered boar, and in neutered boars, they don't tend to have impaction as commonly as non-neutered boars, and I have found that in over a year that I've had Kipua, he hasn't had any impaction issues. However, I do have this just in case. So this is 100% pure petroleum jelly. And what I have read about it is that it is great to break down all of the whatever it is that's in there that's stopping everything up. This next part applies to all my piggies, although my long-haireds tend to use these supplies way more often. And these are all the supplies that I use to maintain their fur. To keep their fur soft and smooth, and to keep it free from mats and whatever kind of stuff might kind of get stuck in there, it is really recommended that you brush or comb their hair every day. And so for my 3 short-haired piggies, I have this little soft bristle brush. This is just a child, I believe an infant brush, very, very soft bristles, but it's still good to go over their fur with it. And again, because they're short-haired, this is a very simple process. It takes you maybe a minute. It just smooths it out, and that way, if there's anything stuck in it, it just kind of flings it off. So then for my long-haired piggies, I have these brushes instead. And I have found that these brushes, these ones with like the bristles, they're very soft. This one's metal, but it's a very, very soft one, and it's got these rounded tips so it won't poke into them. This one I've used forever. It's got little soft bristles that are inside of these softer plastic bristles that kind of look like these. So I actually use both of them. If you have a long-haired, invest in these. These are great. After you've brushed their hair, it's so soft, silky smooth. It's so beautiful and wonderful. Pretty long locks. But with pretty long locks comes a tendency for mats, which is why if you have long-hairs, you must invest in some wonderful grooming scissors. And I would recommend that you specifically look for pet fur cutting scissors or hair cutting scissors as opposed to just regular scissors. And I highly, highly recommend, especially if you have squirmy little piggies, and I have a few of those, that you get the ones with these rounded edges. That way, if they move suddenly, this won't poke into them and hurt them. And although I've tried actually a few pet cutting scissors, these scissors here are my absolute favorite. These are from the brand Pet Magazine, so they are nice and sharp. I purchased these off of eBay, I believe, and the set that I bought came with 2 sets because this one is the general fur cutting, but this one, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, it kind of has a serrated edge here, and the purpose of that is for really close cuts. I believe this one is specifically for like cutting around the face of certain animals, so you can get a nice close shave, if you call it that. But I primarily use this one here. And what I do is, this is why I have a comb. So when I am trying to cut their hair, I basically comb their hair, and the comb actually not only makes it smooth so I can cut it evenly, but it holds it in place and it provides a little guard so that I don't cut the piggy, I just cut the hair right here. So that's what I do, and I give my long-hairs trims probably every 3 to 4 weeks, but I do often check their fur, and if I feel mats, then I will just cut it then. And the last part of our grooming supplies video has to deal with the supplies I have specific to cutting the piggy's nails. So if you know anything about piggies, then you know that their nails are constantly growing and they're always needing to be trimmed. Because if not, then these nails will grow and curl around and cause lots of pain and lots of issues for these poor piggies. And piggies do not naturally know how to trim down their nails. There's no way of getting around cutting their nails. So it's a definite necessary part of properly caring for your piggies. Now, to cut their nails, you will need to invest in some nail clippers. These are specifically small animal nail clippers, and this is what they look like. They basically, you put the little nail through there and you cut it very easily. Now, a lot of people do use human nail clippers, and they say that it actually works better for them. I think both are fine, but my preference, I feel like for me, I have more control over using it by this one. Now, I got this one a while ago, and that was because it's a bigger version of that, because I have a couple of piggies who have these really, really difficult nails. They're very thick, and I actually like to use this scissors on it. Another thing that is a good idea to have in your supplies is a flashlight. But why this is a good idea to have is if you have piggies that have nails that are dark colored, then it's going to be difficult to see where exactly you can cut it. You want to cut the nails down as short as you can, but not cutting the quick. So the quick is basically like the tip of your finger. It contains nerves in here. So just imagine if you're cutting your own nail and you cut your finger instead, you will bleed. Just like if you cut the quick of a piggy, the piggy will bleed. And so you want to try to avoid that, but with dark nails it's almost impossible to see the quick. But a flashlight shining on the nail may actually show you where the quick is. But even if you're very careful, there are times where you can still cut the quick accidentally, especially if you have squirmy piggies that at the very last second decide to move their nail. So that is what this supply is. This comes in very, very handy. This is called styptic powder. And this one in particularly has something called benzocaine, which is like a pain reliever, very, very slight, and it's actually really, really still piggy friendly. But you can get all kinds of styptic powders, and there is actually natural formulas you can use as well. Like, I believe it's cornstarch and water mix. Really all it is, it's just exactly that. So that's why I have some Q-tips, and I know you've seen this in many videos now. This crosses over a lot of things. So basically what I do is I wet the head of the Q-tip and just dip it and kind of mix it around in this powder. And what it does is it sticks to the Q-tip because it's all wet, and it creates a pasty kind of substance. Then you take it and you just apply it to the tip of the nail that you cut. and it absolutely works such wonders in stopping the bleeding right away. And finally, when you're done with cutting their nails, this is not necessary, but I found it's very helpful. And thanks to my friend Abby of Skinny Pigs 1 and her tip, I have nail files. If I cut their nails and it still feels a little bit sharp, then I take this and just kind of file their nails down so that it's not. And that is now the end of our video number 5 and all about our grooming supplies. And you've got one more video to go in the series. So I hope that so far you've been enjoying it and found it very informative. I know I ramble on a ton. So you have one more video to go, and that one is going to be all about our absolute necessities for any health kit. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.